Hey there, boys. How's it going this evening?
It's going mega. I just got a level 100 in the Fortnite Battle Pass. I unlocked Peter Griffin, and I gotta say, he's nearly as buff as me.
Bro, no. What you yapping on about? Peter Griffin isn't buff, small Brody.
He is in Fortnite, Gunky Joe. You'd know that if you were a man of culture like me.
Oh yeah, a man of culture? What culture? Eat 120 McDonald's chicken nuggets a day until the only thing I'm running for is regular dialysis treatments? Face it, lil bro. You ain't got no culture other than privilege.
Damn, George, you ain't have to do my mans like that.
That was a weak-ass insult. Weaker than George's justification for invading Iraq. That insult is actually making me giggle. It's so bad, like hee hee hee.
Sure, I can hear your fat rippling from here with just how much you're shaking with shame.
Geez, y'all are angry today. What's wrong?
You know what's wrong, Barack. We have to do this Phantom Blood, Phantom mid-tier list. Bro, that shit is due.
What the hell am I listening to?
Okay, of all the horrific noises we've made in this series, I think that was genuinely the scariest.
Yeah, I can't even really tell what emotion that was supposed to be conveying. Fear, anger, disgust, whatever. Let's just get into it.
All right, so yeah, Phantom Blood, it's pretty mid, right? Everyone acknowledges that it was the first part, still got some growing pains. I'd probably rank it a C tier on my personal tier list of parts. It's not my least favorite, though.
Total snooze fest. Whenever I consider rewatching or reading JoJo and I remember I have to do Phantom Blood first, I hit that.
Yeah, that's fair. There aren't really many standouts in terms of characters and story arcs. Of course, there's Dio, and we all love Dio, but he's kind of the main draw.
Okay, let's just get this done before this shitty part makes me start acting like Joe and stuttering more than an asthmatic quadriplegic.
Jesus Christ, Donald.
Just want to drop in. If you enjoy this, consider subscribing to Soggy's dying-ass YouTube channel, LOL. They need new ideas for when this series ends, and the support would be appreciated.
Oh my God, no one wants to subscribe to this shitty channel. Let's just get on with
Bro's having a bad day. He's taking one down. He sings a sad song just to turn it around.
What is Blood on about?
Okay, fuck it, we're starting. Dio the Invader is up first. And say what you want about Phantom Blood, I think this is a pretty strong start to the series, introducing key themes like JoJo's weirdness and horror influences, the key structure of characters, and the direction the story will end up going.
Does it though? This arc doesn't tell you shit about the Mask or vampires or Heyman, not to mention Stan's not existing until part 3 and Spin not existing until part 7.
Well, yes, Donald J for Jackass Trump, because Hammond is a concept introduced later in the part. Also, the Maskey is introduced in the arc, so you're honestly just a waffler. And about Stans and Spin, that has got to be one of the most head empty, no thoughts takes I've ever heard. They weren't planned from the beginning and are separate ideas. Especially the Spin, which didn't exist for another 20-odd years and is completely unrelated to Phantom Blood.
Jesus Christ, I didn't ask for the essay, did I?
Just felt like correcting your shitty opinion, lil bro.
Okay, yeah. But this arc is actually good, though, for an intro to the ideas and tropes that will eventually be staples of JoJo. This is a pretty solid outing. Jonathan is underrated. I usually don't like characters like him, but he manages to be cool and charming enough to where I like him anyway. And of course, there's Dio.
Regardless of how much you like Phantom Blood, Dio carries it pretty much the whole way through. The arcs without him or featuring him less than the others are weaker because none of the other characters are really that interesting.
I will accept that Dio is an utter giga-chad, and he resembles me quite closely. In fact, I met Araki personally back in the 80s, and he was so inspired by my aura of American girth that he told me he was gonna base a character off of me in his new manga. It's a true story, believe me.
Ignoring that, because even considering giving that the time of my day is paining me, I think this arc is an A tier. Seeing Dio fuck up Jonathan's life so much makes it even better when Jonathan absolutely wrecks his ass at the end.
Okay, oh, what do you mean
Hold your
by that,
pause.
Bill Brody?
I didn't mean it like that you demented sacks of gremlin flesh. I simply meant that Dio gets beaten up so bad at the end, and it's one of the most satisfying beatdowns in JoJo because he just sucks that much.
One of the most satisfying beatdowns in JoJo is Crazy TBH. I mean, it's fine, but like, it's really nothing special.
I think this has got to be an A tier, though. Just for being the first arc in JoJo, it sets up everything without too many issues. Maybe it spends a little too long on Jonathan's early life, but I think it's still good.
I guess I will accept that, although every arc in Phantom Blood can gargle the hairiest parts of my nut sack.
This arc is an S, high quality. Jonathan, Dio, and Arena are all like 12 or something. Let's go! I'm done. I'm not.
Did we just listen to all the key points of an
Putting this
orgasm?
in A, and we're moving on.
Calm down, demonic blood.
Okay, next up is the arc. A letter from the past. And like, who the fuck is out here caring about a letter from the past? Legit. Who gives a fuck about a letter from the past? Just a generic, catching up to where we were, moving plot along arc. Really nothing special.
I mean, yeah, we probably should have combined this with the next arc because there's just really nothing going on here. None of it's bad, but it's mainly Jonathan discovering that Dio is poisoning George, confronting him for like 2 minutes, and then going to Ogre Street.
Wait, this doesn't even include Jonathan versus Speedwagon?
No, Specky Joe. That's another weird thing about Phantom Blood. The arcs begin and end at weird points. We'll see it later again, but it makes tearing them very confusing.
Okay, well, let's focus on the actual arc. I mean, the main highlight is Jonathan and Dio's brief confrontation, but even then, as I said, that is brief. This is just kind of a transitioning arc. I'm feeling a solid D.
Yeah, we know you'd be feeling a solid D with Manchael, but you don't need to tell us that homo blood.
Bro, please, shut the fuck up!
Well, yeah, the arc ends right before Jonathan goes to Ogre Street, which means it's primarily that little fight and the rugby game, which means it kind of sucks.
Phantom Blood is primarily the story of Jonathan Joestar learning Heyman to defeat his vampire brother Dio, which means it kind of sucks.
Bro, please quit your trap slappy flapping. I think this arc is a C. There's nothing really holding it back that much. It's just nothing special.
Well, I think this arc is a throbbing E tier, so I guess we can compromise at D.
Okay, fine. Just drop it in D.
All right.
Okay, the Stone Mask is up next. This covers Jonathan fighting Speedwagon on Ogre Street, Dio fighting the vampire, as well as Dio being cornered and putting the mask on himself.
So yeah, there's a lot to go over, but none of it is really that in-depth. Speedwagon is obviously the GOAT, but his fight with Jonathan really isn't anything special other than that bowler blade hat that he never has again.
Speedwagon overrated.
Ain't no way.
You're
George
just
would
wrong.
actually spreading
I'm a certified
misinformation in
part
the
1
VC.
hater.
That's
Believe me,
great.
I'm the best in the business. But even I can acknowledge how utterly cracked Speedwagon is at existing.
I mean, so yeah, I feel like this is a C. The part with Dio fighting the vampire guy is probably my favorite bit, finally showing us what the bizarre part of this series is about to be, but even then, it's not a special fight by any means, and the final chunk where Jonathan and Speedwagon pull up with the cops is cool and all, but should really be part of the next arc.
C is fair. Yeah, the part where Jonathan confronts Dio at the very end is hype and cool, but it only exists to serve Dio putting on the mask, as well as making the next arc seem more hype. Almost feels like another transition arc, even if Speedwagon is goated.
All right, I will accept C tier, but Z tier is the only correct
Shut your
spot.
big bone, chicken bone, dead ass, head ass son of a bitch.
Bro got a little bit angry, ha 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 ha.
All right, so next up is Youth with Dio, and honestly, part 1, hate aside, I feel like this is genuinely an S tier arc.
Yeah, I actually agree. I feel like this fight is where JoJo really begins to find its identity, giving us vampire Dio, as well as things that would become later staples of JoJo, like emotional deaths for characters you really aren't that attached to, cough, cough, Iggy, cough, cough.
That's actually mad disrespectful.
The first 2 parts of JoJo are a little too scary for me.
Ain't no way bro had a breakdown
Joe,
in the
stop crying
Discord.
before I throw you through a door.
Maybe you could throw him through that door George tried to open in Beijing. Ha ha ha!
Honestly, one of the most unfunny things I've ever heard in my life.
Does anyone have an opinion on this arc, or are y'all out here trying to waffle my head off?
Well, if you're asking Devious Don, I think this arc is a D tier. Mainly because it's an arc in Phantom Blood. Also, Jonathan is still a little bitch. I don't care what anyone says.
That's just wrong, Donald. Jonathan is a legend.
I will say S tier is the best spot, although I'm still iffy on the whole Dio dying at the end and being revived like 2 or 3 minutes later. It's just a really cheap thing, but it's not too important. Dio really becomes iconic in this arc.
True, Dio is really coming into his own at this point. Especially in the anime, Takehito Koyasu really hams it up for this one.
He always does. It's great. I think this arc is an S tier based off of just how important it is for JoJo as a whole.
More Speedwagon, too. Kind of crazy.
Okay, I will agree it's important. I guess I'm comparing these arcs too much to later parts when I'm being so harsh. Contained within just Phantom Blood, this is a very strong arc.
Okay, we're going for S. So here's Jack the Ripper and Zeppeli the Strange. Another weird arc that ends halfway through a fight, as does the next one. I mean, it's fine. We get the introduction of Hammon, which, to be honest, isn't that interesting until part 2.
Yeah, it's great. And all like, ooh, we got our power system. Let's go. Our power system is lame as hell until the next part. Hammon's fine, but I will never understand people who say it's more creative than Stan's.
I like Hammon. It's much easier to understand for my Biden brain.
You have a brain?
This arc is lower average, to be honest. Just boring, I feel like. Baron Zeppeli isn't even close to being one of the best Joe bros, but he's fine, I guess. The Jack the Ripper fight is pretty mid, too, and this is only the first half of it, so honestly, I think D tier.
Yeah, not really a lot to talk about. We get the completely shocking revelation that Dio is still alive and all that, and I think Jack the Ripper could have been an interesting antagonist, but he was immediately reduced to zombie cannon fodder for Dio.
Yeah, he's creepy, me no likey.
Jonathan's training isn't detailed at all or anything like that. In the manga, there's that 2-page fight with Wang Chan that was honestly just a waste of my time, and there's nothing great going on. I do like Zeppeli, though.
Yeah, put this Tutti Frutti arc in D tier, Obazinga.
Okay, y'all give me weird names, but Obazinga just straight up hits on a different level, no cap.
Don't bust a gazillion nut over Obazinga, Lil Brody. Okay, no, this arc is just straight up stinky cheeks. Ham on Overdrive, more like damn I want to die, because of how shit this arc is. The second half of the Jack the Ripper fight is serviceable, nothing special, but when Dio shows up in the graveyard and the pace just grinds to a halt for some shitty confrontation between Zeppeli, Deo, and Jonathan, oh my God!
What the fuck?
Bro reached his final form mid-sentence. That's crazy.
I actually like the part where Dio freezes Zeppeli's arm. It's super tense and just all around a really tight confrontation.
What is mentally challenged blood on about this arc is fucking...
What the hell?
My man just reached Defcate 1 of constipation. What the fuck?
Yeah, I need a second after that.
Also, it's super satisfying to watch Jonathan kick Jack the Ripper's ass at the end of the first half. I genuinely think this is a solid arc. Good to have the main trio together as well. Speedwagon is still the GOAT.
I think he's a human, actually.
Yeah, no, this arc is really not great. The pace grinds to a halt in the second half. And while I think Donnie might be getting a bit overly passionate about it, I do agree that it's bad. An E tier for me.
E tier is 50 tiers too high. Lil bro, are you crazy? This arc is a different level of
Holy fucking shit. Donald, what the fuck? It's really not that bad. Yeah, I think E or D is the best spot. But this is like a genuinely concerning reaction.
Can we just save the trouble and put it in E? I like it, but I get why you guys don't. Not Donald, he's just a dick.
Bro, what the fuck? Yeah, let's go E and move on quickly.
All right.
Okay, next is Tarkus and the Dark Knight Bruford. Even Tarkus is in the name of the arc. This arc is the battle between Jonathan and Bruford, and I actually don't mind it. Sure, the double flashback explanation of who they are is a little annoying, but I don't mind it. I really like that scene between Jonathan and Bruford at the very end.
We're back to an arc that I can accept the existence of, unlike the last one. While the fight is nothing special if you ask me, it doesn't do anything particularly wrong, and Bruford is a certified Giga Chad.
I mean, you got some classic JoJo smarts with Jonathan getting the oxygen from the trapped rocks and using it for his ham-on, and the first ever rush in JoJo from the Sunlight Yellow Overdrive. I think it's an A tier, actually. I like how Jonathan and Bruford interact, especially at the end.
A tier is a little high. It's just not special enough to get into A. We got to remember that this is the point where Phantom Blood's relatively quick pacing completely halts to squeeze in some extra fights. I think B works.
And yet you were complimenting the last arc, you silly willy-nilly bitch.
Yeah, because the last arc had Dio, this one doesn't.
That's fair enough. I think it's a C. The fight is really just a nothing burger, and the only highlight is the ending between Jonathan and Bruford, but I guess it's fine.
I suppose we can compromise at B tier because it's not going in A. Like, honestly, the fact that Barack, I spy with my little eye, a hospital in the Middle East, Obama would even suggest that is crazy.
Bruh, that has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but okay, keep slapping those gums together, Donald. I'll put it in B.
All right, this arc is Pluck for Tomorrow and the successor.
Why is feminine blood
Another
talking like
B
that?
tier, in my opinion. Tarkus is a less interesting, more generic villain than Bruford, who only really stands out because of his contrast with Bruford, but I think the fight is better.
Yeah, me and George have just been on the same wavelength today. It's pretty goated. This arc is a B for sure. As George said, Tarkus is kind of lame, but Jonathan gets some real epic moments in this arc. And Zeppeli's death is the first real death in JoJo. None of that George Joestar, the first kind of shit.
Oh, hold on. Don't diss my boy George Joestar like that. What the
Bro,
heck?
this arc is a throbbing mega S tier. Poco is such a baddie. Ultra smash.
What?
I can't.
Ow, that fucking hurt my ears.
Joe, we really need to get you checked out, Lil Brody.
If you want my opinion, and trust me, everyone does, this arc is a C tier. The only saving grace is the fact that Araki decided to model Tarkus after me, considering we have the same build and all.
That's some
Love has his
That
masters in the
boring
apology.
arc and Zeppeli's death is the only real highlight, even though we don't get much time with him before he dies.
Bruh, what? Nah, bruh. What? No, what now, bruh?
Okay, my man's is clearly severely demented and is in need of immediate assistance, which I'm not willing to give. Drop this arc in B if you're really just gonna be stubborn bozos.
Donald, can you just quit your drivel for 20
consume my
seconds?
anus, George.
You goddamn ingrates, not everything has to be an argument. We were supposed to be doing a friendly tier list. Shit. Hey.
Bro, you are yapping right now. If you're just gonna violate our eardrums, at least put the arc in B first.
The three from a faraway land. We get introduced to Irrelevant, Dead, and Irrelevant until part 2. Such a weird choice to introduce 3 new characters in the final stretch.
Yeah, Araki wasn't cooking with this one. Dyer and Tonpetty are just irrelevant as hell, and Strazo is only cool in part 2. This arc is another transition kind of arc now that Zeppeli is dead also. I can't believe Poco is still with Jonathan and Speedwagon at this point. A E tier, if you ask me. The fight with Doobie the zombie is a waste of time. And the only interesting bit is Dyer's death.
Poco's still with them because my boy Jonathan got taste TBH. Also, Dyer is another character who is given an emotional death that you don't care about. What an irrelevant guy. And his death only serves to kind of make Dio look more scary. It's lame.
Yeah, it's an arc that's just set up for the finale. Like, are we actually supposed to care about Poco's sister? Like, actually?
I don't know, but I don't. This is genuinely an arc I have almost nothing to say about. Jonathan's cool as always, and it's hype to know the finale's coming next, but it's just not very interesting. Once again, Dio is the best bit, but that's mainly in the next arc again. Let's go E tier.
E tier sounds good, except for Poco. He's a devious, diabolical mega S tier.
Please shut. Stop up talking.
I think Phantom Mid is actually making us lose it. Let's hurry up. Barack, why did you put it in D tier, not E?
Oh yeah, I meant to put it in E, but I can't be bothered to change it now, so it's a D.
Okay, yeah, sure, bro.
What's that even supposed to be implying? Oh yeah, I got some secret underground lefty lizard conspiracy to put Phantom Blood arcs 1 tier higher than everyone agreed on.
I knew it. Can't get anything past me. I have the hugest insight.
Well, let's talk about the final arc, please. Fire and Ice, Jonathan and Dio. This covers the battle between Jonathan and Dio in the castle, and then on his and Arena's honeymoon ship. Honestly, the castle part is a C tier. It's nothing special, but the boat part bumps it all the way up to an S tier for me.
Yeah, for real, I know Phantom Blood isn't the best part, but the ending is absolutely goated. It's incredibly ballsy to kill your main character, especially back then when it wasn't common. Jonathan's death is so emotional, that scene where Dio's talking to his corpse, pleading to let him go, is intense.
Agreed. Arena was only a D tier waifu before this arc, but this one bumps her up to an A tier in my opinion.
Wow, really insightful stuff there, Donald. Thanks.
It's a good way to wrap up an okay part. I don't love it, but it's good. The battle in the castle is all right, but again, another Dio death that doesn't really seem very much like he's actually dead. It's an okay first half, and the second half is better.
This arc cements Jonathan as a really great character to me. I know he's not the most popular, but I think he is the perfect opposite to Dio, and his final moments are super touching. Every part of this arc feels super climactic. It's got to be an S tier.
Yeah, I guess we can go for S tier, although I will say it does take place in Phantom Blood, which automatically makes it a Z tier. Sorry, I don't make the rules.
You know what?
Shrug
Just
emoji.
shut the fuck up, or else I'm gonna get your ass impeached again, clown, gremlin, goblin boy.
That sounded zesty as hell, Fruity Joe.
I think this has to go into S tier. Rest in peace to my boy Jonathan Joestar. He was a real one, no cap.
What, is that the language they speak in Kenya?
Shut the fuck up!
Holy fuck, that scared me.
Let's just go S tier and wrap this up now.
Phew! Now I won't have to talk about Phantom Mid for precisely 20 minutes and 39 seconds ever again.
Well, there we go, boys. Our Phantom Blood tier list. Not too bad, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's fucking trash. I am out.
Whoa.
What the fuck is his problem?
This tier list fucking sucks because Phantom Mid fucking sucks. Fuck y'all. I hate y'all. All these arcs should be in F tier. Shitty list, I'm gone. I am so not here for this.
Damn, bro, it really wasn't that deep. Guess we'll see them for Battle Tendency. Hey, George, want to play some Fall Guys or something? I wonder if they'll ever do a JoJo crossover.
Nah, fuck that. I'm gonna go watch Shuckmeister complain about JoJo fans for no reason other than just existing for the 5 millionth time.
Okay, well, I guess I'll play by myself.